Are you a forward thinker? Then you need an HR and finance platform that thinks like you do. Workday is the AI platform that helps propel your organization, your workforce, and your industry into the future. Workday, moving business forever forward.
For a limited time at McDonald's, get a Big Mac Extra Value Meal for $8. That means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, and medium fries, and a drink. We may need to change that jingle.
Prices and participation may vary.
At Starbucks, we offer full and part-time baristas 100% upfront college tuition coverage, which means they can thrive at our company and in class. At Starbucks, benefits like college tuition coverage are just the start.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Contentful. Marketers, you know that feeling when your creative clicks? When that social post sends engagement through the roof? When your outside-of-the-box campaign hits ROI positive? When a personalized homepage turns prospects into customers? It's utter marketing bliss. Contentful helps you create tailored omni-channel experiences without working overtime. No stress, no limits, only possibilities. Get the feels at Contentful.com.
Honestly, guys, when I heard this Jason Kidd quote, I read it.
Read it?
And I heard it.
Heard it. That's a different website.
Like Bomani Jones in our intro.
That's all it took. Oh, we got books, we got schools. You saw a video on YouTube.
The mysterious thing is that we couldn't hear it. Because believe me, I scoured the internet. I'm desperate to get the audio because I want it for perpetuity.
We don't have the audio?
No.
It's funny because I've talked about this on Levitar's show. How does it work where things are scrubbed off the internet? Because this was clearly scrubbed off the internet. There's not a trace of it anywhere in audio form, even though we know every single one of these media availabilities that these teams do pretty much every day, at least every game day, is recorded and uploaded somewhere. Someone surely must have captured it, whether it was the team itself or one of the reporters in the presence of Coach Kidd when he said those words. And yet, nothing. I Googled, I YouTubed, I did everything. I couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating because, as Tom requested, this could be in the intro for years to come, or it could be a drop. It could be all kinds of audio post-production. But speaking before Wednesday night's matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks, Coach Jason Kidd said he did not appreciate any connections drawn between Kyrie Irving's uptick in playing time and the season-ending ACL injury. Quote, "We're talking about one play. Not many before that. It's a freak accident. That's how it should be reported. We're reporting on conspiracy theories. We want our stars to play. This isn't supposed to be a rest league."
Oh, man. Here's what I'm going to do. And the first for Basketball Illuminati, I'm going to send a text to 2 different people. I'm going to send a text to Mike Curtis from the Daily Morning News and send one to Tim Cato of The Athletic. They both cover the Mavericks. And I'm going to ask them, did you get this quote on audio? I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they haven't purged their files or anything like that. Or maybe they got to them too. I don't know.
What's the conspiracy theory? Who conspired to get Kyrie hurt?
No.
What is he referring to here?
No, Tom. Injuries are freak accidents. Injuries just happen. They're not an accumulation of wear and tear over time. That's outrageous. That's not what we're talking about.
I like how it can't be more than one thing. It can only be a freak accident, or it has to be an overuse injury. Since when can it not be both? If you're driving in a car and it's raining outside and someone cuts you off and you hit the other car, you can say, hey, that was a freak accident. That car should not have slammed on its brakes in front of me or cut me off. What am I supposed to do? I could also point out it was raining outside. I tried to stop, but I couldn't because it was slippery out. It can be 2 factors which led to an accident. And here he's saying, this is a conspiracy to point out that I played Kyrie Irving a league-high 39 minutes per game because Luka Doncic was not playing because we traded him because Ostensibly, we were worried about his conditioning and health concerns going forward. And now Kyrie Irving's playing at 32 years old, more minutes, and having to carry a much larger load. That is irrelevant. And I get it. It is not the single reason why Kyrie Irving blew out his ACL on this play. But you can't rule it out as if it's not even part of the conversation. And then you call it a conspiracy theory.
Jason Kidd thought he was disrespecting the concept of Kyrie's load being increased and it causing injury, but little did he know that he's playing right into our hands.
I'm texting both of these guys right now.
While our intrepid reporter, Amin Elhassan, 5-star Illuminati general, is doing that, I'll just point out, did Kyrie Irving play February 13th against Miami?
No.
He didn't. No. Did he play at Portland on December 1st?
No.
So second night of back-to-backs, they're giving Kyrie Irving the night off.
Wait a second. This isn't a rest league, Tom. Surely there was another reason.
We want our stars to play. This is not a great line when your star player is now out because he can't play. Kyrie Irving. We want our stars to play. Don't we all? And yet we have the other game where they may not have enough players to field a team. And now you're blaming conspiracy theorists. Come on now.
Is that us? Are we the conspiracy theorists that he's blaming?
No, not even. Last week we determined on the Do You Believe episode that the Dallas Mavericks are cursed. Now, if he had responded to that and said, it's not some kind of curse. What are we, like, got a voodoo doll or something? What are you talking about? You're reporting on conspiracy theories. That would have been us.
Is he referring to the Las Vegas theory that we reported here on this show?
No. People pointing out the minutes load. That's it. That's a conspiracy theory.
That he played Kyrie too many minutes.
I've lived long enough to see conspiracy theories get as mundane and dull as he's playing a lot.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
He's playing too much. When I came into this conspiracy business, we were talking about frozen envelopes and points getting erased. 3-pointers being counted as 2-pointers despite it clearly being beyond the 3-point arc.
Malfunctioning AC units in the finals.
Dude, on purpose. That's the conspiracy theories that I was accustomed to reporting on this program. And now you're telling me that we've gotten down to he's playing too much. That's our conspiracy theorist of the day. What have we done?
And Kyrie, who I think we were debating whether he's the face of the Illuminati, right?
Mm-hmm.
He posted on his Instagram over the weekend saying, too many minutes or did I get knocked off balance?
He did his own Zapruder film. Did you see that?
Yeah, and then he posted a photo of him stepping on Jonas Valanciunas' leg.
This is why he's our patron saint, man. Because even as he's dispelling one theory, he's giving birth to another one, which is Jonas Valanciunas did this shit on purpose. It was a hit job. The Sacramento Kings are in a race in the play-in with the Dallas Mavericks. They needed to eliminate every single threat, and so they sent Jonas Valanciunas in there to take Kyrie out once and for all. Ladies and gentlemen, the patron saint has opened up my third eye.
My assignment: uncover why the association inspires more conspiracy theories in volume and salience than any other U.S. sport.
You've heard of the Illuminati.
The truth is out there, but so are lies.
Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them.
The NBA has always been controlled by about 8 people.
Denial is the most predictable of all human responses.
If you're only using 10% of your brain, you don't even know that you're using 10% of your brain.
The NBA Illuminati.
If coincidences are just coincidences, why do they feel so contrived?
The Illuminati.
But you start to follow the money, and you don't know where the f*** it's going to take you.
It is unspoken. They have influence among other players.
The NBA Illuminati.
I don't have time for your convenient ignorance.
Maybe I'm a conspiracist now as well.
That's all it took. Oh, we got books, we got schools. You saw a video on YouTube.
Why my eyes, sir? You've never used them before.
We are the basketball Illuminati.
This is Basketball Illuminati. I am Tom Haberstroh, and as always, I am joined by the 5-star Illuminarmy generals Amin Elhassan and producer Anthony Mays.
Members of the Illumination can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/countthedings. You can also show your support by wearing a Third Eye hat or a Basketball Illuminati shirt or hoodie. Check out the link in the show notes or go to the Count the Dings store on Cotton Bureau and keep that third eye open.
We've got a great show this week for Truth Teller. We're going to bring in Ben Alamar. He used to work for NBA teams as an analytics director. He's the author of multiple analytics books, sports analytics books. And he just presented, along with the godfather of analytics, Dean Oliver, a new paper that quantifies chemistry. That's right, chemistry, which we thought was this ephemeral intangible that you could not possibly quantify. They have figured out a way to show that chemistry among teammates can lead to improved shooting over the length of the season.
Hold on. We're going to put a number on chemistry now?
You thought it couldn't be done.
Unbelievable.
So we've got Ben Alamar, who's going to share his study with us exclusively here, besides the whole Sloane Conference thing, exclusively on Basketball Illuminati. But first,
listening to The Agenda with Amin Elhassan and Tom Haberstroh.
All right, guys, I know last week we told you to keep your third ear open. Maze, how many ears did you have to hear what LeBron James said on the sidelines the other night?
We're back to eyes. The ears didn't work in this situation. We don't have audio. So we're going back to the third eye. My third eye is trained on these internet lip readers. We love them. They come roaring back every time they're needed. There's those great bad lip reading videos where the guys overdub what people seem like they're saying online, but no, this is legit.
John Boy does the best. John Boy is amazing at this on the baseball side. We need some John Boys on the NBA side. How do we not have this by now? They would make millions.
I'll tell you why. Black scent.
John Boy's too white, you're saying?
The lip readers came out in force after the Lakers defeated the New York Knicks 113-109 in overtime last Thursday night, as LeBron James went face-to-face with Stephen A. Smith courtside. And according to the internet, this is what he said. I'm going to tell you one time, bro. Keep my son out of this shit, bro.
I feel like we're overconfident on his comment to Jeannie Buss and Miss Rambus International Women's Day. Do you remember that clip?
Of course.
First of all.
We just celebrated the anniversary.
It's the gift that keeps giving. LeBron, every year, on International Women's Day or around that time, we are going to get some sort of controversy where we have to do some lip reading. This one is, I'm going to tell you one time, bro, keep my son out of this shit, bro. How confident are we on this one? We feel pretty confident that this is what he said? I'm not feeling very confident.
Really?
I get the theme of what he said, but in terms of the actual words.
You thought there was more spice to it or what?
No, I just don't think those were the words. I think he probably brought up his son. You know, when like Siri tries to transcribe something, we're almost there. We're 70% there, but I don't know. This is a literal translation.
Like the captions on our social media posts is what you're saying?
Oh my God, those captions. Whatever AI it is, man.
It's AI. It's half-baked.
It needs a little bit more time in the AI oven. Absolutely.
Well, okay. Here's what we do know for sure. Stephen A. explained Friday on First Take.
That was LeBron James coming up to me, unexpectedly, I might add, to confront me about making sure that I mind what I say about his son. Can't repeat the words because they ain't suited for FCC airwaves. That's what he was doing. That wasn't a basketball player confronting me. That was a parent. That was a father.
And we know that Stephen A. had said previously on January 29th,
I am pleading with LeBron James as a father. Stop this. Stop this. We all know that Bronny James is in the NBA because of his dad.
And we know that Clutch reached out to him after he made those comments, to the point where Stephen A. had to say, this LeBron sensitivity is just beyond the pale. So this has been simmering for a little over a month, guys.
I love that term, beyond the pale. Also, I love the idea of foisting the responsibility, the reason why you can't repeat it. Not because I'm going to keep this secret, but because the almighty FCC, man, who am I but a man against an entire governmental organization, preventing me from revealing the actual words spoken in my tete-a-tete with Monsieur James. But I tell you what video really popped out to me was this conversation between LeBron James and Richard Jefferson, his former teammate and friend. This is Saturday night in Boston as he explains the situation. Do we have the audio for this?
Yes, our third ear can pick this one up. So we got this one.
He says, I don't give a fuck. Once he talks about, I'm pleading with you as a father, I can't. And so, guys, that one quote has turned me 180 degrees on this. Because it went from, for me, LeBron James being irritated that his son was being viciously evaluated to something completely different. He wasn't offended that Bronny got eviscerated in analysis. He was offended that Stephen A. Smith would invoke parenthood and fatherhood as part of his analysis.
This is where I hand up. I don't know. Stephen A., is he a father? I have no idea.
He is a father. Dan Le Batard confirmed this for me the other day that he is, in fact, a father.
Dan Le Batard, like Maury?
He is the father.
Amen.
Yeah, he had one of these in his life. In the case of Stephen A. Smith's fatherhood, you are a father.
So it's not about Bronny's performance. It's not even about criticizing Bronny. It's about criticizing LeBron as a dad of Bronny.
Yes.
Yep.
That the criticism that Stephen A. in that clip that we just played, it was not Bronny sucks, get him out the game. It was LeBron, I implore you as a father. Implying that LeBron is a bad dad by allowing all of this to happen. It is completely and 1,000% changed I was very, hey man, if your kid can't take the heat, then why is he in the NBA? And now I kind of get it. And I kind of stand on LeBron's side. And ladies and gentlemen, let that be a lesson to everybody. And I'm looking at certain, perhaps four-time champions who have a podcast. That sometimes you make a snap judgment and you didn't have all the information. And then all the information arrives and there's no shame in saying, hey, my bad. I had that a little bit wrong based on the information that was available to me. Now that new information has come to light, my opinion and stance has changed. Just as a hypothetical.
Are we to believe, that if he didn't say those three words as a father, that none of this would have matriculated?
I'm not saying that LeBron wouldn't still be irritated. I'm saying he would not have approached him about it.
But this is also coming in the wake of what we talked about last week, which is the face of the league stuff, the criticism by Stephen A., which Stephen A. was sure to let us know that it was about him. And as we've learned from patron saint Kyrie Irving,
there are no mistakes, no coincidences.
What else happened on Thursday? Oh, yeah, Stephen A. signed a brand new 5-year, $100 million contract with ESPN. So what's the best way to pour salt all in your drink? Beat the Knicks in overtime and then roll up on them courtside and let them know, hey, man, back off.
Guys, I have new information now, the courtesy of Anthony Mays, that has changed 180 degrees.
Oh, no!
My belief on why Stephen A. Smith didn't want to get approached in that manner, in that way. He didn't want it to come before the DocuSign had been approved by all parties. We have agreed in principle, but you don't actually have this money quite yet. The direct deposit has not hit yet. And if you're Stephen A. Smith, and this would certainly explain his demure approach on TV the next couple of days, very reserved, almost emotional, dare I say, conciliatory, beyond any sort of element that we imagine of Stephen A. Smith. Why does he do that? Because the cash hasn't hit, the wire hasn't hit. You're not going to jeopardize it by being proud. For what? For who? I stand with Stephen A. on this one. That's right. I stand with you.
Wow.
You be conciliatory. You make sure that 100 mil deposits before you start talking fresh again.
Wow.
A lot of revelations today.
And then, of course, Bronny had to get involved.
Did he?
Oh.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. How does Bronny get involved? Instagram comments.
Really?
That's right. Stephen A's Instagram page. Bronny chimed in the comment section. Funny how the ones who couldn't hoop got the most to say. Clown emoji.
Oh, he's his father's son. He's his father's son. It's like funny how the ones who couldn't hoop had the most to say, period. No, it's missing something. Hey, Dad, I'm leaving this comment on Stephen A's page. Well, I said, funny how the ones who couldn't hoop had the most to say, but it just feels a little missing. A what? A clown emoji. Oh, my God. Thanks, Dad. I'll be up for supper in a second.
Then he got aggregated by NBA Centel, so he doubled down. He quote tweeted the aggregation.
No.
And he said about his own comment, why is this so true, though?
Wait.
Genius.
This didn't happen.
NBA Centel aggregated his real life comment without any NBA Centelisms there of
nope.
They just gave you truth for a change. Now, is he being super meta and saying, why is NBA Centel so true?
No, he's talking about his own comment.
Oh, wow. Okay, navel gazing.
Maybe you're right. Maybe he's saying NBA Centel saying that he cooked Stephen A. Smith is what's so true. Either way,
he's navel gazing.
He is commenting on his own comment.
Again, his father's son. Oh my God, look at them. It's like a Xerox. Hey, Dad, NBA sent out. Yeah, you saw that too, huh? Should I? Okay, I'm going to quote Tina right now.
But that wasn't the only beef that sparked up on Thursday, March 6th.
Yes, beef stew and Chef Curry on Friday night. He called him tiny.
That was great. But no, I'm talking about Chuck. Ground Chuck.
Chuck roast.
Chuck roast.
I saw a fool idiot on TV talking about the Lakers save the NBA.
Save the NBA?
Yeah. He's an idiot and a fool, but he know who he is. What's his name, Shaq?
Which one you talking about?
Kendrick Perkins.
Oh.
He said the Lakers, first of all, the Lakers have had a great 2 weeks. He said the Lakers saved the NBA season. That's because them fools on the other network, which we're going to be working for next year, that's all they talk about. Let me tell y'all something.
Tell me something.
And first of all, I want all the smoke. I don't whistle when I walk by the graveyard or anything like that.
I don't whistle when I walk by the graveyard.
That's right.
I like that.
Hey, man,
I'm stealing that one.
The Lakers are doing great. Got a long way to go. But the reason the season's been going great for the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Y'all just want to talk about the Warriors and the Lakers. They're both doing great. Don't get me wrong. If I turn out to be wrong, I got no problem with that. But y'all are idiots because y'all talk about the Lakers and the Warriors all the time. Y'all don't. The Cleveland Cavaliers have won 12 straight games. The Oklahoma City got the MVP and they are on fire. Y'all are talking about who's in second place. That's the reason I get pissed. Hey, the Lakers are doing great. I don't mind being wrong. The Warriors are doing great. But that's because you fools on other networks, which we're going to become fools next year. We'll be working on that network. But Oklahoma City and the Cavs been balling for 6 months. Y'all talking about teams that had two great weeks.
Time out. I get what you're saying. You just went at the whole network.
They talk about the same stuff.
Whole industry.
Whole industry. They talk about the same stuff every single day.
He took aim at ESPN and what's that guy's name again?
Who we talking about? That's my favorite part of the clip. That Shaq has no idea, has not been paying attention.
You're talking about Chuck.
What?
It's an attempted Cobra formula that doesn't work because
it didn't work because other guys.
Shaq got involved. And also another great part of this is there's some future disdain for being on ESPN next year.
It's
I love Chuck, man, because he said that literally no one in the history of employment has ever done. Before you start the job, you start already shitting on your new employer, although technically they're not the new employer. Of course, they're still employed by Turner, and Turner just licenses the show out. But it made me laugh to no end.
Kendrick Perkins responded on Twitter almost immediately, calling Charles Barkley a senior citizen and saying, quote, "When he sees an idiot or fool in person, make sure he keep that same energy. He can come playing with me if you want to, and I'm going to address his ass like the numbers on a house. Straight from the 409, homeboy, and we bar none and fade all. Hashtag Texas boy." And then finally, Saturday Night Live brought Kenan Thompson as Kendrick Perkins on Weekend Update.
Look, hey, I just be saying things, Michael. You know, Stephen A. Smith, he just got $100 million to go on ESPN every day and talk nothing but nonsense. And I want a piece of that, too.
You know, I wasn't going to bring this up, but Charles Barkley called you an idiot this week.
Ooh, do not get me started on that Charles Barkley. He makes me so mad.
Don't you see it, guys? Don't you see what's happening here? This is all one giant trap. We're all falling for it.
Are we?
We're seeing Kendrick Perkins beefing with Stephen A. Smith, and Stephen A. Smith is beefing with LeBron James. And oh, it just so happens to be caught on camera by some random person in the audience. And oh, this Richard Jefferson interaction with LeBron James is caught by someone randomly, and they just so happen to be on the court for all of this, and LeBron decided, oh, I'm going to do it in front of everybody here. You're not seeing that this is all just one giant publicity stunt for TNT, ESPN. They're going to have like a Royal Rumble next year, and they want to generate as much controversy and as much beef as possible so that we're all sitting on the edge of our seats. Can't wait to see what happens when Charles Barkley and Kendrick Perkins are all on the same network, on the same air, and it's all leading up to this. That is the Super Bowl for media right now, is when Kendrick Perkins and Stephen A. Smith and Shaq and LeBron all have to be together at the same time.
Not bad.
Certainly fits in the agenda, Tom.
Yeah.
Reading right out of their hands.
This is the problem. Agenda-driven media. I have a problem with it.
What channel does SNL? What channel?
Oh, NBC. Oh.
Keep your third eye open.
Hello, listener. It's producer Maze here to talk to you about Kindred. Now, close your eyes like Owen Wilson during a job interview and imagine a way to travel that feels personal, comfortable, and connected without the price tags and the sterile feelings of hotels or short-term rentals. Now open your eyes and stop using your imagination because Kindred has made it very real. That's exactly what they do. Kindred is a members-only home swapping network. It's not a hotel. It's not a short-term rental. It's a smarter way to travel where each stay feels like home. Here's how it works. With Kindred, your home is your ticket. You earn credits by hosting fellow Kindred members, and then you use those credits to stay in over 220,000 homes in more than 100 cities worldwide. There are no hotel costs or rental fees, just the credits that you've earned. Every stay comes with white glove service, 24/7 trip support, and $100,000 in host protection. Make it easier for you to travel and enjoy yourself and not worry about details. I've used Kindred and I found an amazing home for a weekend getaway in an idyllic location with amazing views and great ambiance. It had everything I needed. And the best part was, it cost me $0. So apply now at livekindred.com and use code DINGS to join for free. Plus, you'll earn 5 nights of travel credit just for signing up. That's right, that's 5 whole nights for free at livekindred, KINDRED.com, code DINGS, DINGS, livekindred.com, code DINGS. Hello, listener. It's producer Maze here to talk to you about Quince and their cookware. Cooler nights mean cozy meals at home, and Quince's cookware has made fall cooking so much more enjoyable. Their pieces deliver the quality and performance of luxury brands, but at a price that makes sense. And they look gorgeous on the stovetop, too. No matter what item you need to complete your kitchen, Quince has you covered. With 5-ply stainless steel pots and pans, nonstick skillets, chef-quality knives, and even ceramic bakeware, which is perfect for cozy casseroles or Sunday roasts. And when you look at these prices, you might think, how is Quince doing this? How do they deliver high-quality items similar to high-end brands that are half the price? Well, let me tell you, they partner directly with ethical top-tier factories to cut out the middlemen and pass the savings on to you. And it's not just cookware. I got myself some bath sheets. That's right. When you're a tall man, you have to use bath sheets, not bath towels from Quince. It's like drying off with a cloud. It's incredible. Upgrade your kitchen for cozy fall meals with premium cookware from Quince. Go to quince.com/dings for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/dings, DINGS, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dings.
Listener, listen up. This is important, okay? I'm going to try to save you some money here. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. You may think like, oh, that's bad. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. Here's why I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. You heard that correctly. $15 per month. Ditch overpriced wireless and the jaw-dropping monthly bills. And of course, there are all these hidden fees and stuff, but at Mint Mobile, plans start at $15 per month. All the plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text. You're not doing like weekend and nighttime minutes or anything like that. And it's delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone. Don't have to get a new phone. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. I switched months ago. People have asked, did you actually switch? Yes, I actually switched months ago, and I don't know what to do with all this extra money. I've cheated the system here. I've rigged something. This is an Ocean's 11 situation where I'm stealing wireless from Mint. That's how good a deal it is. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/dings. That's DINGS. That's mintmobile.com/dings. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like expecting the leadership of a team captain on the football field, but getting a sea captain. You wouldn't settle for just anything for your team. Shouldn't it be the same for your insurance? So don't settle for just any insurance when you can go with a leader. State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You all think I'm licked. Well, I'm not licked. And I'm gonna stay right here and fight for this lost cause. Even if this room gets filled with lies like these. And the Taylors and all their armies come marching into this place. Somebody will listen to me.
There's no better way to overpower a trickle of doubt than with a flood of naked truth.
But the complexity and the gray lie not in the truth, but what you do with the truth once you have it.
What is true and right is true and right for all.
You and I both know that that's just not the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Too messy. Keeps them up nights.
I'm here because in the end, the truth is worth the risk.
Speak a little truth and people lose their minds.
I'm a grown man, you can tell me the truth.
Why is it people who want the truth never believe it when they hear it?
So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something really outrageous. I'm going to tell the truth.
All right, Ben, you see what I'm wearing right here? This is a Pack Your Knives shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Ben is a super fan. I don't know you know about this, Amin.
Oh, really?
He's a Top Chef legendary super fan, this guy.
Oh, nice.
Looking forward to the new season.
Now, Ben, as a stats wonk yourself, do you appreciate the advanced analytics on Pack Your Knives, or do you find it hokey and actually distracting from the overall narrative of the show?
Data is always good. Not nearly enough data to do a really, really interesting stuff. It's so context dependent, the performances, but it's fun to see what we can learn.
Ben, in a perfect world where you had unlimited measurables, what would you want to be a measurable on Pack Your Knives so that you could crunch some extra analysis?
I'd want actual scores from the judges.
Really?
You don't know how close these things are, how much better they are than their competition, what the overall level of competition. Like comparing season to season, is Peak Buddha Low the best ever? I don't know. I haven't tasted the food. I don't have a good insight into that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like ranking draft classes. Like every year is a new draft class, but they're never playing against each other, so you can't really know how good they are. But Ben, I've got great news. We've got this great like data scientist, data guru, Carly Levitz, who is now contributing to Pack Your Knives. You should go packyourknives.com, subscribe already, and you get access to all our past episodes and our amazing data visuals that she's doing. She just did a data wrapper statistical database of all of the winners. She created her own stats of like, she tracked top 3, bottom 3, number of quickfire wins, percentage of quickfire wins. So we're creating our own Top Chef reference is what I'm trying to say at packyourknives.com. The new season on Thursday night.
Oh, this reminds me of when you did the refs ranking. Like, we don't know how the league classifies their refs, who's good and who's not, like as far as the way they score them. We do know that the highest honor a ref can be is the crew chief, and the lowest honor is the umpire. And so based on where you how many games you performed in each position, we can come up with a rough estimate of who the best referees are according to the NBA. So that's what you guys just did right there.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, isn't it kind of like coaches where you don't know who the coaches value, but you also can see like who they play the most, and so therefore you know that they really trust this guy at the end of games, Ben, right? Like you can kind of retroactively quantify the unquantifiable, right?
Well, we can try, and certainly like with Pack Your Knives, while they mostly don't play against each other, some of them do. Like there is some repeat over seasons, and the All-Star seasons provide an opportunity to try and translate some of that. But you sort of have to make some assumptions to do that. But it's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Also fun stuff is having you on, Ben. We used to work together with Amin at ESPN. You were the director of analytics. You've been a forefather. I think Dean Oliver, who you co-wrote this paper with, he might be like the godfather, would you say?
He's the Hall of Famer.
He's the Hall of Famer.
He needs to be in the Basketball Hall of Fame legitimately.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Let's start the campaign right here.
I tried to do it last year at Sloane on my panel there, but didn't really pick up any steam. But if we can get it going, let's do it.
My intro to basketball analytics. The first time I was ever even conceived of just possession-based stats or just anything beyond per 48 was basketball on paper. The guy I worked for at the Knicks said, read this. He gave me the book. It didn't even have a cover. It was like, I guess it was hand-me-down after hand-me-down. So it was a hardcover that it was missing the jacket. And I read it, and I'll never forget, because we were talking about the 04-05 Phoenix Suns. And I was saying, well, they're a terrible defense. And my boss, a guy named Matt Simon, was like, well, are they a terrible defense because they allow 110 points per game or whatever it was? Or is it just that they play so fast that, of course, they're going to be more points? And then if we see how many points are scored by possession every trip, then that gives us a more accurate depict. And, it wasn't elite, but it definitely wasn't worse than the league. And that was the beginning of everything for me as far as understanding basketball on a different level.
Yeah, it's the beginning for a lot of folks, that book. And then he's got a new book, Beyond Basketball on Paper, which is also an excellent resource.
What's your first meeting of Dean Oliver like? Like, what is your origin story with Dean?
So I was working at a startup company called Pro Trade Sports, which eventually got acquired by Yahoo. I think he was living in the Bay Area. I was living in San Francisco at the time, and I had read his book, and we just, I had written something on our website, I think, about the Portland, about the draft that coming year, and he called. We got in contact, and we met downtown San Francisco and hung out, had coffee. And this is like 20 plus years ago now, because we're old, so that was the beginning, and we built ESPN's QBR together. But this is the first work we've been able to do together since then. So
wow.
So you guys invented QBR? We have a god amongst us here. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, Dean, when Dean started, he was the first director of sports analytics at ESPN. They started building QBR, and he asked me to come consult and help them build parts of it. He was the first one. Then he hired me hired officially to be the associate director of sports analytics then at ESPN. but he also quit and left to go to the Kings the week I started there. And so I got an instant promotion. It was great.
That's how you do it, right, Amin?
Yeah.
Walk right into it.
You bring someone in and say, you know what? I've saved a seat for you.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yep.
That was my plan for like 6 years in Phoenix. One of these days, someone's going to quit and then I'll slide right in.
You said, Ben, that you have been working on and off with Dean Oliver for the last 20 years. That means you guys have a lot of chemistry together, which is kind of ironic because this is the paper you guys wrote together and presented at the Sloane Conference. And Amin and I were not present for that. But we want to share the insights with the masses, the Illumination out there who look at intangibles and say, we can never quantify that stuff. It's just these innate things that we just know to be true. And chemistry seems to be one of those things, these inanimate objects in the ether that we always feel like you have chemistry with another teammate or with a colleague. You can't quite put your finger on it or quantify it. And this paper called Lessons in Chemistry, Impact of Teammate Familiarity on Shooting in the NBA is, I think, the like closest distillation that I have read of what chemistry is and how to accrue it and why it kind of builds over time. And so, Ben, to like recap quickly, what you found was basically you looked at catch and shoot pairings in the NBA. You have like 900,000 data points, and you found that over time, as you increase the number of volume or
opportunities,
you see a pretty substantial effect of those shots are going in more, and whether those are better passes or whether higher quality shots, or even they're making those shots more than what you would expect. Outperforming. All of this seems to be happening in ways that I haven't seen quantified before. So, Ben, to kick things off, how did you come up with this study? Like, what is the origin story of the study?
I reached out to Dean about a year ago and said, look, we should work on something together. It's been a while. And so we tossed around a bunch of ideas. And he had noticed, and he talks a little bit about it in his new book, Basketball Beyond Paper, how one is, it's sort of well known that offensive rating sort of increases throughout the season. And then he had drilled down a little bit more and looked at, say, just in general, catch and shoot opportunities become more efficient throughout the season. And so he had sort of noticed this trend, and he's like, we might be worth sort of investigating what is causing this. And so we talked a little about what that would mean. And, basically the concept is, when a player joins a new team, it takes a little while to learn your teammates. It takes a little time to get comfortable, to know how you fit into the offense, where to be to take a shot, where your teammate likes a pass to arrive in the right place, to have the smooth shooting motion that they prefer, to be really comfortable. It takes time to work that all out. And so we drilled in, and we're fortunate to get a large data set from the NBA to look at every single, and we looked, started with every single shot that was the result of a pass in the NBA since 2016. And we did all the analysis on that entire set. There are the same trends exist in basically all shot types. Catch and shoot is where it's the most pronounced, which makes sense because that's where it is most immediate. And the rhythm and everything and the spacing of it all, it seems, in theoretically at least, is most important to get just right and be able to fine tune. So that's sort of how we started, and then we dug into the data and sort of saw a couple of these examples where this plays out just in general. When you look at Chris Paul joining the Suns, their first 50 catch and shoot attempts that Chris Paul dished out to the top shooters there were bad from a points per attempt perspective.
0.8. So it's like a 40% two-pointer, right? Yeah.
It's terrible. Then they, from shot opportunities 50 to 100, they bump up to okay at 0.93. And then opportunities 200 to 250, they're at 1.23 points per attempt, which is really, really good. And that's, that team was really, humming offensively towards the end of that season. So that was all sort of inspired. And then we went in and started to model it out, create the models we needed, statistical models to do this. both to understand the overall trend and then try and understand what was creating this, where the learning was happening between these teammates.
Ben, how much of it, because obviously it's quantifiable. You guys know what the coefficients are, so to speak. How much of your findings did you find was attributed to improved shot quality versus outperforming the expected performance on a particular shot?
Basically, if you take the first 50 shots, catch and shoot opportunities, you can see that players overall improve the results improve about 14%. They go up 14%. And so when we break that down, we look at, as you said, we looked at shot quality versus shot accuracy, those two components. And it seems it's roughly evenly split between those two things. So, half of those gains is because players are finding better shots, and we can see that, part of that is the passer is more open when they're making the pass. So they're, have more confidence to pass earlier, essentially. And then the shooter tends to be more open in these situations. Over time, they're finding the better spot on the floor. And when you just look at the 2-point shots, they're actually taking shorter ones. Mm-hmm. All that comes into improved shot quality over time as you get in through those first 50 opportunities. The rest is accuracy. So another 7% over those first 50 opportunities is just better, making the shots more often. And we love to get the pose recognition data because we think that if we were able to drill into that pose recognition data they have now in the NBA, we'd be able to really understand why that's happening.
That's Hawkeye you're talking, pose recognition? Yeah.
Yeah, the Hawkeye data, exactly. Mm. We have a lot of theories about why that's happening from an accuracy standpoint, but I think the Hawkeye data could go a long way in helping us really say, yes, it is that because the ball is hitting, in the sweet spot more often, that kind of thing that would allow, that kind of analysis. But at least from a shot quality perspective, we have a pretty good handle on why this is happening.
If Luka Doncic is already doing behind the back, no look passes right in the pocket for Austin Reeves, what are we expecting here from Luka Doncic going forward? Because he just found these teammates, and it seems like he already has crazy chemistry with them.
From a Luka passing perspective, yeah, I mean, he's hitting LeBron on those deep throws and all that stuff. That's great, but he himself is not shooting very well, right? If we looked at all the so far this season, there were 72. Kyrie Irving set up 72 Luka Doncic catch and shoots, and on those, Luka has an effective field goal percentage of 50, almost 54%. LeBron has set up Luka 9 times, and on those shots, he's shooting 33% effective field goal percentage. So seems like Luka's got some shoot. Once he gets a little more comfortable, gets a few more reps in. Now without LeBron there, they're not going to be able to get those reps in at this time. But when he does, their offensive efficiency's there's room to grow there if they can capture some of that.
Did you find any evidence of negative chemistry?
So this was interesting. We did, all of this is, in the paper, we present all the general analysis, the general results. And we were digging into the next question is exactly what you're talking about. Like, what are the player specific things? Are there some players that have instant chemistry, all this kind of stuff? And there were a couple of players that were identified to have, to go down the points per attempt, but the sample size is so small, we don't really have the confidence that that's correct. Mm-hmm. It sort of seem really weird that when Jokic is passing you the ball, that over time you actually get worse at shooting. That doesn't and so because the way you have so few partners as a shooter, so few passing partners, where you actually accumulate 50, 100 catch and shoot attempts in one season, it's really hard to, at this point in our analysis, to say we feel really good about those player specific impact. But, there is something there at some point. And, I guess theoretically you could have a negative chemistry and it gets worse, but we're not quite at that stage yet.
Is this something where you'd advise the Warriors, take that, get that extension for Jimmy Butler, because you're going to reap the benefits of the chemistry in year 2 rather than year 1?
It's interesting. So the season-to-season effect is, basically you do at the end of the season, if you've had, say, 200 attempts, catch shoot attempts, you're about 11%, about 20% better than you were at the beginning of the season. So, but then you drop off then at the beginning, you reset a little bit at the beginning of the next season to about 10% of where you were, above where you were when you very first started. So there's some, summer learning loss for those parents out there with their kids. You get some of that going on. But then you improve, and your top end after the second season is better than the top end after the first season. So there are definitely gains for players to play multiple seasons together. The magnitude of it is such that there aren't a lot of transactions that you necessarily want to make based on the fact that these guys are going to develop more chemistry and get better. But at the margin, it certainly is there, and it's certainly for some of these players who are maybe not the top end talent that. They really getting them comfortable and getting more and more reps, getting their reps to a certain level. Like, there will be value to that. So, your 6-7 guys off the bench, like, that's where I think, instead of churning those guys, keeping them a little more roster stability at that end is will give you that marginal advantage that you're looking for.
I mean, how about this stat? Buddy Hield passing to Stephen Curry on 3-pointers. Steph Curry is shooting 33% on threes from Buddy Hield, 18 of 54. But when he's getting the pass from Draymond Green, it's 42% on threes. Kevon Looney, 47%. Andrew Wiggins, 47%. Which one of those is a newcomer this year to giving the ball to Steph Curry? It's Buddy Hield. Steph Curry is shooting 33% on threes on passes from Buddy Hield. That's wild.
If you're Buddy Hield, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
You do see some really interesting stories when you start digging into this stuff.
Jif peanut butter. It's that jiffing good. It doesn't really need advertising. So instead, enjoy the calming sounds of the ocean. It's that jiffing good. Get your Jif at Jif.com.
Welcome to Sephora. I'm looking for a perfume that's not too perfumey. I got you.
Serum moisturizer or moisturizer serum.
Let's get into layering.
My concealer is making me look worse.
Sounds like the wrong shade. Let's get you matched.
There's only one store that really gets what you're going for. Get beauty from people who get beauty. Only at Sephora.
Hi, Let's get you a basket.
Whether your business has 6 floors or 6 employees, Walmart Business has everything you need to save time, money, and hassle. You can restock your break room with bulk ordering or bulk up your ordering team with shared payments. And you can get it all delivered straight to your business's door, whether that's on Wall Street or Main Street. Walmart Business. It's the Walmart you love, now for your business. Learn more at business.walmart.com.
Are your business expenses playing hide and seek? With Uber for Business, the small spends that slip through the cracks, like rides and meals, go right where you need them. Because it integrates with leading expense platforms, you can say goodbye to surprise costs, missing dollars, or chasing receipts. Everything's track downable. Uber for Business. Make small steps that make a big impact. Learn more at uber.com/small steps.
Don't chew on that, Max.
Cooper loves that chew too.
Oh, now he's into Cooper's food. Wow, he is loving it. What do you feed Cooper?
Blue Buffalo Life Protection Formula. He never leaves a crumb. I love it because it's made with high-quality protein, nutrient-rich fruits and veggies, and wholesome whole grains.
Looks like we're switching to Blue.
Blue Buffalo foods are made with the superior ingredients your dog needs to thrive. Can your dog food say that? Visit feedbluefood.com to learn more.
Ben, when you think about the improvement, right, is there a plateau? Is there a number of reps or samples where, okay, the improvement, the marginal improvement has basically diminished and now it's just a flat line or a very small incremental uptick?
The first 50 shot attempts where you see the biggest gain. And then at the beginning of each season, that's where you see the biggest ramp up. And then it does plateau a little bit, but it never sort of hits a maximum. And particularly, given that, like, the last season, the top combination, Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Turner, that was 237 attempts. So you're not getting to a place where you're taking 1,000 attempts in one season. If you got there, then yeah, maybe there's some theoretical max. I would guess if there's a theoretical max, Draymond to Steph Curry is probably at the theoretical max. But for most combinations, there's room to grow each season.
Do you think we can quantify chemistry in other ways?
I think that you have to define exactly what you're talking about, because chemistry is such a broad word. Like, you can think about it in lots and lots of different ways. And that's why we are very specific. Like, we're going to quantify one piece of what can be under the umbrella of chemistry. We're going to talk about teammates learning to play together better. And then very specifically, catch and shoot. Like that's drill down. But yes, anything you can define as a thing within that umbrella of chemistry, it can be quantified. Whether we have all the data we want to measure it really precisely right now or not, that's a separate question. But there's no reason, if it's something that you could see and would have an impact on the court, there's no reason why it couldn't be measured.
I used to define chemistry as, if you think about it like arithmetic, 1 + 1 = 2. But on some teams, the Warriors, for instance, when they were really doing their thing, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. 1 + 1 can equal 3 or even 4, even 5. It's like because they all know what they're doing, it reinforces in the system and it grows. And then other teams, 1 + 1 = 1, because it's just a series of people all doing their things disjointed. And even though you say, all of these great talents, they don't really mesh. So from that standpoint, I guess the next place where my mind would wonder would be, could you quantify chemistry on the defensive end? And what would be the tools you would use / what would be the tools that you wish you could use, or the stats you wish you could use but you can't because you just don't have them?
Yeah, so I think it's just like how you're thinking about the offensive side. On the defensive side, what we need is really, really good measurements about how well players defend in different situations. How good are they overall and defensively? In every aspect. So you can then on the offensive side, this guy scores 10 points per 100. This guy is 20, and add them up 30. No, they're scoring 40. Oh, they got great chemistry. Mm-hmm. We want similar kinds of metrics and things on the defensive side. Now, in both those situations, there's also this idea of what coaching and scheme has to do with this, which is separate from chemistry, but sort of intertwined with it. So it's all very to get to a place where it's a truly general measure of what do these guys playing together create versus just adding up their skill sets, what we would expect guys of their skill sets to be able to produce. That's the calculation that you're trying to make. Once you define the skill sets really, really well, and you have really, a lot of confidence in what those look like, and you've been able to remove scheme effectively from this, then you can have sort of a general notion of chemistry by this definition.
Yeah. Amin's going to love this question. I still believe that the noise meters at games are accurate. Okay. So I've always believed.
Those decibels.
The decibels are real. It seems like it's an accurate portrayal. Why would they juice the stats?
No doubt.
I kind of feel like that would be a good measurable for defenders or communication, is like Draymond Green talks a lot defensively and choreographs the defense and is a conductor out there and really communicates to his teammates. I kind of feel like a noise meter would measure some kind of intangibles that when coaches say they want this guy to be talking more defensively. And sometimes there's bad talking, like yelling at each other's teammates, like, "Hey, you should be over there. What the hell are you doing?" But those are certain like intangibles, quote unquote, but then they become tangible if we have the right measuring tools. You know what I'm saying? Is like some of these intangibles that we ascribe as being like, oh, he just has this connective tissue, or he has this amazing impact on team defense and chemistry. And really, I feel like there isn't like a holy grail of chemistry that, like, honestly, I feel like we can measure quite a bit more than we're doing right now.
Oh, 100% we could measure more than we're doing right now. And I think that, with the sort of the Draymond example, like if you've measured all the skill sets and abilities and players' abilities to react to situations and things, in theory, you could say, all right, I'm going to simulate out these defensive possessions and I'm going to remove Draymond from it. And I'm going to put in a player who's similar skill set, but not, doesn't do the things we haven't put in the skill set. And see what happens if the rest of the team really reacts the same way. Now, at this point, we're not in a place to do that, but we can take subsets of things that we think about as chemistry and say, all right, I'm going to define this, and I'm going to measure this very specific thing, like we've done with these learning curves, and say, and try and get at whether they matter, whether they have impact on the game, as however you define them. Because the truth is, like, you ask 100 coaches to define team chemistry, you're going to get 1,000 different definitions. So, like, there's no agreed definition of this stuff, but we can say, all right, well, familiarity and team, guys learn to work together. We agree that's something that might be important. Let's measure it. Okay, here it's measured. It seems like it matters in certain situations, both from a coaching and a team roster construction perspective. So we've learned that. Now, what are the other things? What are the next sets of things that we want to look at? And that's sort of my approach, as opposed to trying to solve it all in one big metric that people are going to challenge the definitions repeatedly on.
What are those next things that you want to work on?
So I would definitely want to get to these down to player level metrics. So, like, is James Harden a true Swiss Army knife that you can drop in any team, or Kevin Durant? Are they like that, or do they have quicker learning curves, or do they take time? And then are there teams or coaches that create better chemistry? Like, I think those are interesting, sort of dimensions to this that we can look at. And just sort of keeping down this vein of teammates playing together, we can take it out as shooting. We can look at pick and roll combinations and see how effective do they get more effective as they work together more often, as the results change. And different play types. And then ideally, defensively, we can do the same thing on pick and rolls. Like, when teammates have to work together defending a pick and roll, how long does it take for them to get really good at this, if they can? So those are some of the, like, that sort of, we have the data to understand when players have to work together, and look at the outcomes, and those are the pieces we really dig into at this point.
Ben, what was the most surprising thing you learned from doing this?
I think the most surprising is that it turned out that seems like it's about equally, the shot selection and the shot accuracy pieces seem to be roughly the same amount of impact. That there's a nice symmetry to that, but there's no reason why that should have come out that way. But the curves really look very, very similar. And it's nice to be able to see like why that shot selection piece is happening. And then, the shot accuracy stuff, as we get, as I said before, as we get the data there to understand that. But you really see the passer is passing earlier before they're under pressure, they more frequently as they learn to work with their teammates. Like, these are things that, there's that small impact, but it's a real thing, that is changing. Players are changing their behavior.
I think about the lack of chemistry in the NBA as a function of two things. The turnover is just, there's more trades or free agency switching, roster turnover, but also injuries where, the Philadelphia 76ers just acquired Paul George and they can't get him on the floor together. And on one hand, you're like, hey, they just got to play out the string here. They got to get these guys on the floor together, and then you'll see the chemistry effects, and that Paul George and Tyrese Maxey and Kelly Oubre and Joel Embiid are going to be great together, just need to get more reps together. But on the other hand, it's like, I mean, they might never get that because they just might not be on the floor together. So this presents a problem for GMs where it's like, it's not enough to get these guys together and just say, hey, in year 2, we're going to really take a jump. I feel like you're not even, for a lot of these teams, they're not even going to get those chemistry effects because there's just so much turnover in the league.
Yeah, and I think the injuries are, particularly for the Sixers, obviously a really significant piece. And their decision is less like, can these guys get better? It's like, can these guys actually play together? Like, we don't know what that's going to look like ever. Like, are they ever going to get 200 reps between them? Like, it seems like it's hard for them to do that. But some of these other teams where like you mentioned, the LeBron's out for right now, like, seems reasonable to think that when he comes back and they get those reps up, Luka's shooting is going to get back to where it was when he was with Dallas, and they'll see some increased improvement, at least on the offensive end, when that happens.
Ben, I want to ask you a question that's a little bit removed from this, but you're one of the smart people, so I'm going to ask you this question. So the offense obviously has exploded in the NBA over the last, whatever you want to call it, 20 years, 15 years. But specifically since COVID, the team offenses are off the chart to the point where of the top 40 team offenses in the history of the NBA, 39 of them have happened since COVID, basically since 2020. That one holdout is the 2019-2020 Dallas Mavericks at 35. So technically they started before COVID and ended up.
Was Luka on that team? Okay.
But I'm always staggered by every time I check this, I update it, I look. And I remember when I worked for the Suns in 2010, we finished that season with the 4th highest offensive rating in NBA history. And now we're not even in the top 50.
Yep.
And all of them have happened, or excuse me, almost all of them have happened since COVID. I mean, think about that. Even like the Kevin Durant, Steph Curry Warriors, not good enough compared to take a random team from 2021 or 2020, like the Atlanta Hawks last year are better than that team offensively. It can't just be because everyone's shooting more threes. Is there anything more to it that I'm missing?
One, I think you can see the rate of threes continues to go up. I mean, we have teams shooting like 50% of their shots are threes now.
Mm-hmm.
That does have a real effect, and that was a trend that's been building over the last 10, 15 years, and that's a big piece of this. I think the way they ref the game is obviously changed, and so it's easier to get to the foul line, and so you're seeing that impact as well. Spacing,
and it's not necessarily the 3-point shooting. It's just that there's just so much more open space, in my opinion.
And as teams are, to Tom's point, the synergies of taking a lot of 3-point shots are creating things. And then you have players now like Wemby, who's coming in, and if your center isn't 7'2" and shooting threes, like what are you doing? Like this, it's a different world than it was even 5 years ago when Bam was like going to be the next great center in the league, but now he's limited in. Because he's not the shooter that some of these other guys are.
Before I let you go, I want to know, you've worked for NBA teams before, NFL teams. Who's the most analytically curious player like that you've come across that you were like, man, this guy loves this stuff, or asked me the right questions that you didn't expect?
I didn't work a ton with players, but I'll borrow from Dean, we were asked this question at Sloane, and he talked about KP when he was in Washington was somebody he really worked closely with.
Porzingis, yeah, somebody
who from the beginning said, I don't need the numbers, but like as they start to see them and start to use them, like they like, oh, this is really valuable, and start to really get into it. But also in general, like the things that a variety of folks around the league have said is not new, is like the younger players are way more open to this stuff. They grew up in the world of efficiency. Like they understand that, and like it's not different to them. So they're way more interested in hearing that. Now, there's players that don't want to, some things they just don't want to know because they don't want to get it in their head, and that's fine. Like not every player has to be a master of all this stuff. That's what your coaches are for. But I think it's there are certainly players. Shane Battier famously is very interested in this stuff. That find value in it in the right ways, and it's presenting it in the right way that those players can engage with. That's the art of this thing.
I wonder if video games have made it so that these kids are more open to it because there's so much quant in like NBA 2K.
Yeah, you see those shot probabilities, like, oh, okay, like you can see that it's much more real. It's like it's part of the normal way they engage. Like I talked to in one panel this weekend, like the term efficiency as a sports term on Google has grown about 1,000% in the last 20 years. Like just it's part of how we think about it. When again, 15, 20 years ago, we never talked about the word efficiency. It wasn't the thing in sports. We talked about points per game, and that's what mattered. It's been a massive change in the language and how we look at these things. That's been amazing to see.
Well, I'm not surprised that Chris Paul is the face of your study. That Wake Forest education, of course.
There you go. There you go.
The guy who tried to hack the All-Star Skills Challenge by just throwing the ball off the rack instead of actually attempting a shot. That makes sense. Yes.
Like if there's no rule against it, what are we doing?
Turns out there was a rule.
This entire interview was just one big plug for Tom.
It was all set up, the whole thing.
Wake Forest, pack your knives.
I used to work at ESPN with Ben. Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Mentioned the Blazers in the draft.
Pack your knives podcast of the season. I'm really looking forward to it.
Next episode that you're on Illuminati, I can expect a higher insight per 36 minutes from Ben Alamar. Just the chemistry is going to be through the roof.
Do my best.
Appreciate you coming on, and we'll have you on next time when you solve pick and roll defense chemistry and the like. So thanks. Appreciate it, Ben.
All right. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Guys, I got an update.
Oh, wow.
I texted my sources, and my sources did not disappoint. I present to you the audio of Coach Kidd.
The truth to that question is so far false or being misrepresented in the sense of the load had nothing to do with the injury. Like we're talking about one play, not many plays before that. He steps on Valanciunas' foot. It's a freak accident. That's how it should be reported, but we're not reporting it right. We're reporting on conspiracy theories. We want our stars to play as many minutes. This isn't supposed to be a rest league. Kai is our leader. Kai was playing minutes, but also was playing at a high level. Maybe some of the best basketball that he's played in his career. And it's all right to play 40 minutes. We can't talk from both sides and say that our stars don't play enough minutes or our guys don't play enough. They rest, but now we're saying that they're playing too much. So I think the media is taking this the wrong way. We've had two players in that game have injuries. Both sprained ankles, both stepping on someone's foot. So let's just report it as facts, not our opinion. We're taking things a little bit too far, or we're not really telling the truth because we want the likes or the hearts, or we want somebody to put us up, on this platform of not telling the whole truth. But that's the media's job, right? Is to make something that is not true for most people to believe. And it's wrong. It's bad reporting.